swag of a prize fighter, the antithesis of a firefighter. Arsonist, I'm a fire rider. Instant flame like a firelighter. So special with shows, I live out my flows. Can't walk in my shoes, can't purchase my clothes. Ice in my veins, but I never froze. Picture perfect, but I never pose. As a juvenile, I knew I bounced back. Got rated, had a plan to get my ounce back. Use cheese as bait, that's a mousetrap. Let me to the right person to pounce at. They selling dreams, I'm pulling receipts. Full force, we can't be beat. Got a dirty mouth, but the flow so neat. Keep your 2 cents, talk is cheap.
The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros are comments made by Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury said that Deontay Wilder was his most formidable opponent. We're going to take a listen to it, and then we'll discuss it in greater detail. So,
fix your face, Nick. Fix your face.
Here it is. Here it is. Ceasefire until we get the floor. This is Foxify. You can subscribe. Right now, they have 108 subscribers. Wow. They need more subs out here in these streets. So what we're going to do is we're going to sub. You can watch this entire interview with Tyson Fury on Foxify. It looks like they're trying to get their podcast off the ground. And they got a good guest. Tyson Fury appeared. And here's what Tyson Fury said about Deontay Wilder on their podcast.
It's so important. In terms of your career so far, though, who would you say was your most formidable opponent?
I would say my most formidable opponent was Deontay Wilder. I had 3 fights with that guy, and 3 times it could have been curtains for me at any single second. Because Deontay Wilder has dynamite in his fists. And if he lands on you, if it's round 1 or 12, he's going to knock you down or knock you out. And he had 44 fights unbeaten with 43 by knockout. And the guy that went the distance, he knocked him out in a rematch. So he knocked every single person out that he ever fought, apart from me. So, yeah, it was. He's definitely my most formidable opponent. And I'd back him to beat everybody in the division apart from myself. I think my sheer size and weight has a lot to do with him not being able to knock me out cold. Because say he hits a guy 6'3" and 16 stone, 225 pounds, then they're nailed to the canvas for one of them dynamite right hands. But a 6'9", 20 stone guy, 277, I think that has a lot to do with it. The size matters. And anyone who says the size doesn't matter is lying.
That's right.
Thanks for sharing.
That's what she said.
That's how he was actually here. That's what she said. Yeah. All right. So you heard what Tyson Fury said, that his most formidable opponent was Deontay Wilder. He said that he has dynamite in his right hands. He said at any point in time, Wilder could have took him out with the right hand. He thinks Wilder takes out anyone else in the heavyweight division. I'm going to turn over to you, Conspiracy G. What's your reaction to what Tyson Fury had to say?
I actually wanted you to go to Ned first.
All right, Ned the TBE, man. Go ahead. What you got to say?
Outside of Deontay Wilder, the most formidable opponent Tyson Fury faces Klitschko. And from there, the pickings of the litter is not much. So I'm not going to knock Chisora, Dillian White, and things like that, but they're, these guys are world fighters. And I get it. Yeah, that's their next best opponent because you don't really have a selection of opponents. You could be really like, yo, these guys were great. These guys were good. And when you look at put it in context, it's just the standard of fighters he's fought. And yes, Wilder's up there, but I feel there's still better fighters in the division than Wilder. And you haven't fought these guys yet. So till you fight them guys, you could say Tyson Fury likes to put the carriage before the horse. He likes to get, he likes to never take this from K. He doesn't follow the bouncing ball. It's like, yo, you got there's the people you have to face in order to claim like this guy's the best of the best, and you have to face the best of the best yet in the heavyweight division. And to sit there and say that is just like absurd because AJ could say Usys one of the skillest heavyweights he's facing in his entire career. This is in your this pertains.
Mix illest skill and illest. The skillest. I'm with you, TVE. Go ahead.
You're right.
That was deep, TVE. Go ahead, brother.
Yo, Tyson Fury, this pertains to your career. Everybody has different careers where they fight different level of opponents, and you can't just sit there and think people are gonna take this as a say all be all when you haven't fought everybody else in the heavyweight division, and we just waiting on all y'all big boys to clash. Pause. It might sound crazy, but we want to see it go down in the heavyweight division. We want to see y'all brawl. We want to see y'all.
You waiting to see that? We ain't waiting to see that.
We want the fisticuff, bruv. You know, but you know, if till that day happens, Wilder's like your second best opponent you ever fought. That's all. Because Klitschko gave you all the belts, or gave you 3 of the belts, and then which you know is over the pond or in the neck of the woods where you live now. So,
all right, Conspiracy, man.
You know what, Ned? I thought he was gonna bring the smoke, so that's why I wanted to hear you talk first, because then I was gonna bring some smoke to you. But you was actually respectful, so I'm a pardon you. So now, when it comes to what Tyson Fury said, I actually agree with him. And no, let me just preface this with, I'm not saying this because I'm a Wilder fan, this, that, and the third, right? But let's just be honest, you know, like with what Ned was saying was like, nah, it should be Klitschko. However, Tyson Fury fought both gentlemen, right? Tyson Fury didn't feel a threat against Klitschko, you know. Now, Klitschko is as big as Wilder, you know, and Klitschko, you know, he has devastating knockout power, but he's not as fast as Wilder, you know. So Tyson Fury had an easier time with a Klitschko than with a Deontay Wilder, you know. And so to me, I could see why he said Wilder was his most formidable opponent. Wilder dropped him like, I don't know, like 3 times, 4 times or something in there, the little trilogy, whatever, you know. And Tyson Fury had a good point. Yo, I think it's due to my size. That's why he didn't flatline me, you know. And I still remember when they interviewed Chris Arreola, and they asked Chris Arreola to compare Klitschko to Wilder, and he was like, yo, when he fought when Chris Arreola fought Klitschko, he was like, Klitschko has like hammer fists, but Wilder has a whip. And he's like, because Wilder's so fast, you don't see it, and that's what takes guys out. And I think that's what Tyson Fury is really talking about. It's a combination of knockout power and explosion. You know, Wilder paws you with that jab, comes with that right hand real fast, and that's how he gets a lot of these guys out of there. Klitschko didn't really utilize it like that. Like, Klitschko would utilize the 1-2, but it was way slower. So, like, guys could, like, see it coming. You could brace yourself for the impact. With Wilder so fast, sometimes you may brace yourself for the jab, and then the right hand comes, and you're just like, yo, I didn't know this dude was that quick, you know? So I do believe Tyson Fury is actually telling the truth. And what Ned was saying, this is the only pushback I'm going to provide to Ned. He's talking about opponents that he faced in the ring, not potential opponents. So he's just basing off of the guys that he's fought. Wilder's number 1. And that makes sense because, again, we may want to see him with Usyk, with AJ, and other guys, but he's only been there really with a few guys that are household names. And Wilder just happens to be number 1 on that list.
2.
Whatever.
Yeah, look, I'm not gonna knock what he said. There's a few things though. I think part of it is justification as to why he fought Deontay Wilder 3 times. Now, personally, I can't tell him who's his most formidable opponent. He was the one who was in the ring with them. And as you brought up, G, he didn't feel threatened by Klitschko. He beat Klitschko. He won the decision. Wilder put him on the canvas 4 times. So, I mean, is it really a hard question to answer for him? Exactly. His toughest opponent is Deontay Wilder. I mean, the evidence is out there. Doesn't mean that Deontay Wilder is the best. Because just because your most formidable opponent doesn't mean they're the best person you ever fought. Like, I've seen Floyd Mayweather struggle against some guys, but against better opponents, he beat them easier. Sometimes it's just the way it is. So
remember, Foreman was like the most formidable guy back in the days, and Ali beat him. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, it's you can't really tell. It's different styles and different things. And Deontay Wilder posed a different challenge than Vladimir Klitschko, and I do think the big challenge that Wilder poses is he's very explosive, particularly with the straight right hand. And I think his ability to throw the straight right hand and be accurate with the straight right hand is a very serious weapon in the heavyweight division that can't be duplicated by anyone else. There are a lot of fighters who have a good right hand, but Wilder's speed, explosiveness, and his accuracy with that right hand has hurt everyone he's been in the ring with. You got to give it to him. And for me, even someone, I don't think Deontay Wilder is the hardest puncher in boxing history. Like, to be the hardest puncher in boxing history, you have to have hard punches. He has a hard punch, right? I would say, like, you know what I mean? Like, to say he's the hardest puncher in boxing history. Like, you got to hit hard, like, with both hands. You got to have variety. Now, if they said Deontay Wilder's straight right hand, right, is the hardest punch in boxing history, then maybe you can have a debate about that, right? But to call someone the hardest puncher in boxing history when you're just known for one punch, to me, is a bit excessive. And also, like I said, you got to knock out more people who are coming to win. So, for example, there's a difference between knocking out, as Jake Paul and Tommy Fury found out. There's a difference between knocking out guys who are coming in to get a check or guys who are overmatched and then trying to knock out someone who's there to win. Jake Paul, normally he lands those overhand rights on people and then they fall down because, you know, they're not there. Tommy Fury took them overhand rights. And the same with Tommy Fury. Normally the stuff he lands on people, it was their step-up fight. And in Deontay Wilder's step-up fight, he was able to drop Fury, but he wasn't able to keep Fury down. Fury brings up a great point. He believes it was his size. He believed it was all those attributes, you know, his height, taking some steam off, all those things he believes helped him be able to survive against Deontay Wilder, and he doesn't think that the other heavyweights can. All that's legitimate. What I would add, though, is how would Fury really know? He hasn't been in the ring with anyone else but Deontay Wilder and Vladimir Klitschko. He hasn't been in the ring. Well, you could say Dillian, but Dillian was never really the world beater. Dillian was knocked out cold by Alexander Povetkin. Tyson Fury never fought Alexander Povetkin, right? He was in there with Derek Ward Chisora, who everyone calls the gatekeeper, the UK mascot, right? The heavyweight division's punching bag, and his biggest win was Kubrat Pulev. And Tyson Fury's never fought Kubrat Pulev. Tyson Fury's never fought Joseph Parker. He's never fought Andy Ruiz. He's never fought Anthony Joshua. He hasn't fought Alexander Usyk. He hasn't fought a lot of the top guys in the division, so he can't really compare. So based on the level of opposition he's been in the ring with, he gave his most formidable opponent. For him to say that Deontay Wilder can knock out all those other guys, I don't place value in that because he doesn't know. He ain't been in the ring with him. So he knows how hard Deontay Wilder hits. He doesn't know how hard these other guys hit because he's never been in the ring with them. And Deontay Wilder's most formidable opponent is, go ahead, G.
Question. If Tyson Fury, though, defeats Usyk, because Usyk beat AJ, and AJ is the guy who beat all these other guys, can now he, I guess, have a legitimate argument? Because now he's beating, like, the three top dudes, you know, like, in like the past, like, generation, you know, Klitschko, Wilder, Usyk, you know, like, I don't know. That's a pretty decent resume.
He has the best argument. He's undisputed. No one can dispute it.
So now it's kind of like, I mean, I think he has the right to say whatever. He just got to go through Usyk.
Well, again, I never said he didn't have the right to say anything, but to say that Deontay Wilder can beat all these other guys is what I'm getting at. Unless you fought all those other guys, how can you say that? Because it's kind of a bias, and here's what I'm going to tell you why it's a bias.
Yeah, it definitely is.
He knows all the things that make Wilder special because he's been in the ring with him, right? So he can automatically point to Wilder's right hand and his concussive power and say, yeah, no one's beating that guy. But let's say he gets in the ring with Usyk. Let's say he gets in the ring with AJ. He's going to find out things about them too that he may say, you know what? I underestimated their ability to do this. Yeah, Wilder has this concussive right, but Joshua has like a sneaky uppercut and this and that. So that's what I'm saying. He doesn't have all the information for him to be able to make that assessment, right? So if someone's going to pick someone in a fight, I would like for them to at least have been in the ring with both the fighters. You dig what I'm saying? So then I can be like, okay, this person is speaking from experience, but his opinion isn't more valuable than any one of us guessing at this point in time, because he's only been in the ring with Wilder. That's what I'm getting at. I'm not trying to discredit Tyson Fury. I'm just saying he doesn't have all the information because he hasn't been in the ring with all these other guys. But if he beats Usyk, he's the Don. He's the number one. Like, there's no debate. He's undisputed. So I think he was just being honest. I don't know.
All he got to do is eat that Ukrainian soup.
Yeah, listen, you gotta stop sipping the Fury Kool-Aid, man.
What?
You got to, because whatever Tyson Fury says, you be like, you be ready to give up the ghost, man. Nah, cut that out.
Dude, guy's crazy, sorry.
Yo, but what did Tyson Fury said that was misleading? Say that was misleading in that interview?
It's not misleading. It's just like Tyson Fury has the habit of saying, like, when he gets the spotlight, "Oh, I fought the best fighter ever." You know. It's just like he takes it and he runs with it instead of like being perspective, being objective. He doesn't really.
But he is being objective. He's not like he lied, bro.
No, it's just like he discredits other fighters while like building up himself.
Who do you
it's like a little,
that's what everyone does, right?
Yeah.
That's what Muhammad Ali did. That's what Floyd Mayweather did.
That's
what everyone does, right?
Right? It seems.
Oh, now you just hating, yo. That's
it seems disrespectful.
It seems
when it comes off disrespectful, all right? When you got other fighters out here collecting belts, fighting the best of the best, trying to set up these big fights, taking on these hard challenges, and you come out and you discredit them for what they've done in them. Yes.
I have a question for you. I just want to know, like, your mindset. So you're right. Other fighters are collecting belts. Let me ask you a question. Prior to Anthony Joshua collecting any belts,
yeah,
right? And who was the champion?
Tyson Fury.
So how did Tyson Fury become champion?
He beat the champion.
Who was the champion?
Klitschko.
And what belts did Klitschko have?
WBA, IBF, WBO. I want to say like some IBZ. I don't know. What is it?
You said IBF, WBA,
WBO.
Yeah, he had the WBO.
Yeah. There's one more?
I think he had the IBO also.
IBO, yeah.
You know, nobody really.
So he had 4 belts. The same 4 belts that Anthony Joshua ended up having. Yeah. So when you say he's disrespecting guys who collected belts, I just want to clarify one thing. Those belts were released by Tyson Fury because Tyson Fury was the one who beat Vladimir Klitschko. But he lost the belts because he couldn't fulfill the requirements to keep them because he got suspended for in 2015 for testing positive for being substance. So he was suspended. And while he was suspended, Anthony Joshua collected the belts that were vacated and got them all together. So I just want to say that to highlight this point. When he says he's been in there with the best, in his mind, which is you can't tell someone how to think or how to see a situation. In his mind, he should have all those belts. In his mind, he's the reason why the heavyweight division was booming because he's the one who freed the belts from Vladimir Klitschko. Anthony Joshua beat Vladimir Klitschko after Fury did it. So you got to understand that. And there was a title on the line, whatever. But
it was a vacant belt, remember?
Exactly.
Vacant belt.
So he is the one who cleared the division. So when Anthony Joshua was walking around holding the belts, I don't agree with this logic. I think you win the belt, but you also have to fulfill the requirements to maintain the belts, like fighting mandatories and he couldn't do it because he was suspended. But he lost the belts due to rulings and due to people forcing him out of the sport. He never lost them in the ring. So if you never lost the belts in the ring, wouldn't you be looking at those belts like they're my belts? I'm just asking you.
On top of that, hold on.
I see both sides.
No.
Hold on, let me go.
Let me help out Caden on this. I got his back. This is the foolishness. Look at the guys who had the belts, bro. Parker. Your boy, the rapper. What's his name?
Charles Martin.
Charles Martin, bro. Like, what are we talking about, man? You think Tyson Fury can't body bag Diesel? You think Tyson Fury can't body bag his mini-me Joseph Parker? Come on, son. Put the cap. Yo, now you sound crazy. Yo,
I'm saying,
take the bicep out your mouth.
Yo, you see how you flipping it now, G?
Hold on. Yo, I'm just being honest. The way you talk about AJ is like AJ's a boxing angel. And it's
that's not what I'm saying.
Yo, let's just be
when you look at all the heavyweights, who has had the hardest fight, like their resume, who has had the toughest fights in the heavyweight division? When you look at Fury's resume, when you look at Wilder's resume, when you look at AJ and Usyk, who has had the toughest fights lined up for them?
The toughest? I'm gonna have to say Usyk. What?
I respect it.
Yeah. Say nothing. Usyk's the smallest guy out here, bro. Fighting giants, man.
And here's what I would say: Anthony Joshua definitely has more names. So, like, if you want to talk about who has like the more diverse resume, who has like, and I think that's the best way to use it, diverse, right? He has more names. He has a multitude of names. He can say he beat more people, different styles. But what Fury fans are going to argue and what Fury's going to argue is that's beautiful. I beat the most dangerous fighters. Mm-hmm. I beat Klitschko when he was 10 years reigning, when he was Vladimir Klitschko handcuffing the belts. I'm the one who freed him for you to collect them once they kicked me out of boxing. You're welcome. Then he's going to argue Deontay Wilder was holding the WBC belt hostage
for 5 years.
For 5 years. And you and him couldn't find a way to make the fight happen, regardless of who you want to blame. I stepped in after 2.5 years off, being active for only 9 months. Went to America, fought Deontay Wilder, and then end up getting the belts. So his argument is going to be, you have a more diverse resume. I beat the tougher fighters.
And
if he beats Usyk, Ned, that would only solidify that point because Usyk beat Anthony Joshua twice. Right? No.
Hold on, the bicep's still in his mouth. Look at it.
Right? No, maybe I get it. You don't want to give Wilder his props. Is a good fighter, and a lot of people are on that. A lot of people come to me and a lot of people like say, "Oh, you're the one who made the audits." Let's remember what the audits were about. It was about Wilder not being the hardest puncher in boxing history. It wasn't about picking apart his resume. It wasn't about saying that he was a bum. It was about saying he's not the hardest puncher in boxing history. Like, and I'm not impressed with the guys he was knocking out. That's what it was about. But when he performed against Tyson Fury, that legitimized him in my eyes, particularly in the third fight, because the first fight Fury he was only active for 9 months and had to lose a lot of weight. Then in the second fight, Fury stopped him in 7 rounds and completely destroyed Deontay. And I thought Fury was going to destroy Deontay again in the third fight. So when Wilder came out and did what he did in that third fight, to me that legitimized Wilder as an opponent, because that wasn't a weight drain Tyson Fury who wasn't active. That was a Tyson Fury we seen get busy. We knew he was there, and Wilder actually improved, and even Fury admitted it. So I think Wilder's legitimized himself in my eyes. I don't know. I can't speak for everyone else.
And there's eyes too. Stop playing.
Look at that. That's he's still. So I'll say this, and I'll close with this, and it's and I don't have anything else to add. I don't think he was saying anything that was ridiculous. I think he answered it based on him and his opinion and how he felt, and I think the evidence supports it. And I don't think anyone can argue with that. If someone knocks you down 4 times in 3 fights and you fought another guy and he barely touched you, just because everyone likes the other guy better doesn't make him more formidable. So, all right. Anything to say, Ned? You got the floor for closing.
Bicep's still stuck in his throat.
Bicep got his throat. Bicep got his throat. All right. Thank you for watching the Boxing Bros. Please like, share, and subscribe. You can leave a comment as well. And don't forget to check out our podcast on all major streaming services. We are the Boxing Bros.